good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at honey. I mean, it's a new draw supporter. We all like new draw supporters, right? Now, some of you might be looking at this and going, hang on a second, that's a pretty nice card. That's a very fancy full art promo card, you would be right. What you do is you go to applicable stores, you purchase 2 boxes of either Single Strike or Rapid Strike Master. Remember, over in Japan, we are literally talking 2 separate sets for Sword and Shield 5, and you will get yourself a full art honey, which is printed with both of the set symbols, because of course they are 2 sets, but they're really one. For those that don't know, Japan does this sometimes, where they will literally do a pair of sets that are released at the same time, and they're kind of the same set, but they're different. So if you want to pull any of the Rapid Strike cards, like Empoleon for instance, you actually have to buy Rapid Strike Master. And if you buy Single Strike Master, there is literally 0 chance of pulling an Empoleon, because Empoleon's not in Single Strike Master, it's in Rapid Strike Master. All clear? Good. Let's talk about honey. And of course, our translation here comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet. By now, that is probably a sentence you should be used to hearing. And according to Antoine, what we've got here is a supporter card that reads, draw a card for each of your opponent's Pokemon V in play. Nice. And the problem we've got here, potentially, is that we've got ourselves another draw supporter that could be absolutely flat out over the top awesome phenomenal, or could be absolute garbage. I mean, there are a couple of parallels that we can look at throughout the history of the Pokemon trading card game. Chorus is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best supporter cards ever. It made you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw a number of cards equal to the total number of bench Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's. So when both you and your opponent had exactly 5 bench Pokemon, this would allow you to shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 10 Pokemon, and would be an amazing card. But when you couldn't fill your bench and your opponent chose not to fill their bench, it was garbage. The thing about Chorus, though, is that it was at least, to some degree, in your control. Which is good. The thing is, this is entirely out of your control. It is up to the number of bench Pokemon, and active I suppose, that your opponent has that are Pokemon V. The thing is, it's not always entirely in their control. Because, of course, if they're playing a deck that revolves around Pokemon V, it's not like they can just not bench their Pokemon V, because they kind of need their Pokemon V to do the whole attacking thing. One may argue it's fairly important. The other card this reminds me of very much at the moment is Erica's Hospitality, and I think this is a really good parallel to draw. Erica's Hospitality is a supporter card that reads, draw a card for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play, but you can only play it if you have 4 or fewer other cards in your hand. Well, the number of cards in your hand is going to be determined by yourself. You can get your hand size nice and low, but it is going to depend on how many Pokemon your opponent has got in play. And the good news is, it's not always easy for your opponent to do this. Your opponent can go, ha ha ha, I'm going to bench fewer Pokemon to slow you down in your face, and fine. But the thing is that your opponent wants to bench those Pokemon. And I've made this point in a number of videos before. If your opponent is deliberately not benching Pokemon to try and slow you down, that's a win for you. Because, I mean, we have a phrase in Britain, cutting off your nose to spite your face. You're hurting your opponent, but you're not really just hurting them, you're hurting yourself as well. Now, honestly, when I look at honey, I think, wait till September. I think when we get to September, Honey is going to all of a sudden be a way, way better card. Because the fact of the matter is, at the moment, we've got too many Pokemon that are not Pokemon V. I mean, let's take some common decks. Let's go for Arceus and Dialga and Palkia with Zacian. They are going to be playing Zacian V, which is very much a Pokemon V. They are probably going to be playing Crobat, which is very much a Pokemon V. There are going to be plenty of Pokemon V in their deck. But they're going to be playing Arceus and Dialga and Palkia. And as well as Crobat, they're going to be playing Dedenne. And obviously, if you're playing Honey, they're going to lean towards Dedenne more than Crobat. And they're going to be playing Moral, who is a Pokemon GX. Now, they may also be playing Aegislash, that is a Pokemon V. But that is going to be a one-off tech Pokemon. And it's going to stay in their deck in case they really need it. So what we're essentially left with is a deck where they are going to be playing maybe one Crobat and two Zacian. That is probably the most you're going to see. And if they're playing three Pokemon V, congratulations, you're playing Hop. And Hop is not a good card. Hop is not a card that people really want to play. Hop is the kind of one that you play when you're new to the game. And you don't have lots of supporter cards in your possession. So you play it because it's the best you've got. It's not what you're going for. Nuts. Okay. So what about some other decks? Well, how about we look at Pikachu and Zekrom? Well, Pikachu and Zekrom itself is a Pokemon GX. And they're going to be playing Dedenne, which is a Pokemon GX. And they're going to be playing Raichu and Alolan Raichu, which is a Pokemon GX. And they're going to be playing one or two Boltund. But if they've got one Boltund on the field, or even two, you're drawing one or even two cards. That is not going to fly. That is not going to work. There are a lot of very good Pokemon GX around at the moment. And even if we start looking at cards like, I don't know, Centiskorch V Max, that is a deck that can survive with two Centiskorch out. We've seen those Magneton builds that aim to have one Centiskorch out. And it's your only Pokemon, and then they've reset stamped you to one card, and things are going wrong. Check out my Magneton video for that one. I did it a few days ago. The point is, at the moment, we're not there. Now, there is one deck against which Honey is going to be amazing, and that is Eternatus. Because the thing about Eternatus is, not only are they basically playing Eternatus, Eternatus V Max, Crobat V, and a bunch of other Darkness Pokemon, but Eternatus needs to bench them. Because Eternal Zone gives you 8 bench Pokemon, or the possibility thereof, and Dread End does 30 damage for each of your bench Darkness Pokemon, you don't really have much of a choice here. You've got to bench your Darkness Pokemon in order to actually build up your damage. Not only that, but the main draw engine of the deck is Crobat V, and you're going to probably see them play 3 or 4 Crobat V. So against this, you're going to be drawing 5, 6 cards, and this is going to turn into a really good draw supporter. But then again, if you can get 4 or fewer cards in hand, Erica's Hospitality in that situation would draw you up to 9. Oh. So my conclusion on Honey is twofold. If you're going to play it, especially now, you're going to play it as a 1 or 2 of, and you're going to be using cards like Mewtwo and Eldegoss V to recover it. Essentially, you're going to bid it into your discard pile, and you're going to recover it at the perfect time. You see that your opponent's got 6 Pokemon V in play, so you drop Eldegoss, and this draws you a straight 6 cards. You don't have to use Marnie to shuffle your hand and put it on the bottom of your deck. You don't have to use Professor's Research to discard your hand. It's just a straight draw 6. But then again, in that circumstance, I mean, Erica's Hospitality could work, but you don't always want to lower your hand size, so it could be better than that. But I think the most important point about Honey is wait till the rotation hits. We have been pretty much told, and I will do a full video about this. Generally, March is when I do my rotation prediction video. So I think in March, I'm going to show you a whole video all about this. Maybe slightly earlier, see how I'm feeling. But we are going to rotate to Sword and Shield On in late August, early September. And when we rotate to Sword and Shield On, all the Pokemon GXs are rotating. All the tag teams are rotating. And we're going to be left with Pokemon V and V Max. Which means decks are going to pivot from Dedenne to Crobat. And you are going to see a lot more decks that are playing a lot more Pokemon V. At which point, Honey could probably end up drawing you 4 or 5 cards reliably, and at that stage, I think this could be a really, really strong card. So I suppose what I'm saying is, hold your horses just for a moment. This probably isn't a great card right now, but I think if we wait just a few months, this could turn into the kind of supporter that is a 1 or 2 of in the vast majority of decks. And I'm feeling pretty good about that. So for now, I think we've got to give it between 2 and 3 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. Honestly, there are very few situations at the moment where it is going to be good, and even the situations where it is, there is a strong argument that just play your hand down and use Erica's Hospitality. But when we hit rotation, GXs go away, Erica's Hospitality goes away, this could turn into a really good staple card. I just think it's a tiny bit too early. But I'd like to know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.